Growing up, I never thought I would one day turn the tap and there would be no water. It was not even in my mind. Like, how can there be no water? There is always water. And then all of a sudden, I was an adult and there was no water. Why? Because of how we as humans engage with our physical environment. I am the Sustainability and Compliance Manager at African Coffee Roasters, and I am responsible for liaising with the farmers, creating or implementing sustainability projects, for example, the Trace Kenya project, which we'll talk about shortly, and also certification schemes within African Coffee Roasters, and where we offer technical assistance to farmers. Yeah. The Trace Kenya project, just like African Coffee Roasters, is about improving the livelihoods of coffee farmers. We do not have organic certified coffee from Kenya. We have a number of farmers who claim that their coffee is farmed organically, but we do not have third-party certification for coffee from Kenya. And that's one thing that we want to change, driven by what the market is demanding, driven by climate change, driven by competing land uses for coffee in Kenya, and the way the coffee sector has been dwindling over the years. And so Trace Kenya focuses on producing the first organic certified Kenyan coffee. It's about making sustainable coffee trade between coffee farmers and the market in Europe, including specifically women and youth. We are targeting at least 30% of among the 15,000 coffee farmers that we'll impact on to be young people below the age of 25 and women. So the reason why we picked Kericho, Nandi and Bungoma counties in Kenya to implement the Trace Kenya project is because we believe they're the next frontier for Kenyan coffee. Traditionally, Kenyan coffee has been farmed within the Mount Kenya region or central parts of Kenya. And because of the traditional practices of farming coffee, we have had challenges in terms of soil facility. A lot of the soil in these regions is dead, and not just because of farming coffee, but also how we farm other crops. But in Kericho, Nandi and Bungoma, we have a significant number of young farmers coming up. And when I say young, I not only mean the age of the farmer, but also the age of the coffee trees. And these young farmers are quick to adopt new varieties of coffee, which are more resistant to disease and pesticides. If we do not convert into organic farming, as Kenya and as the Kenyan coffee sector, my firm belief is that the coffee sector in Kenya will eventually die. Simply put, I know it's harsh, but I think that is the truth. For one reason, the market is demanding organic coffee, organic milk, organic vegetables. And what we do here as African Coffee Roasters is we produce to order. We produce to what the market is asking us. And if no one is asking for conventional products, I mean, organic has become a hygiene factor. When I go to a shop, it's no longer, as I understand even now in Denmark, the labeling has turned round and we have conventional products labeled on the shelf because everything else is organic. So when someone goes to buy coffee and yours is not organic, it won't even be on the shelf to begin with. When they come here at African Coffee Roasters, they ask for, I want organic, I want blah, 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 with this taste, with this taste, with this taste. So if it is not organic, it is not on the table, simply put.
So what would it mean for the coffee farmer to start producing organic coffee?
One, it would mean that they would have to change their agronomic practices, really drastically. Two, eventually, I think starting to farm organic coffee will convert how I farm in my smallholder farm, will convert how I farm my maize, will convert what I do with my chicken droppings, will convert what I do with my droppings from the cattle and the goats. I will probably get some rabbit because all this will be inputs in my farm. So it will change how we farm. It will change the local ecosystem, and eventually I think it will change an entire region in terms of farming practices and how we handle nature and how we interact with nature. Two, participating in the Trace Kenya project will increase the visibility of the farmers that we are working with. It will create more linkages for them. It will attract trade partners for them. So it will boost their business as coffee farmers, leading to increased income as coffee farmers.
how do we help the coffee farmers with the necessary understanding and skills to convert into organic?
First, we give them training. As I mentioned, we are targeting 15,000 farmers to be trained. Now, for the farmers to own this project, they have selected their own, who will be trainers. And these trainers have gone through a series of training as to what agronomic practices, what are the inputs, what do I need to do on my farm to start this organic journey. And then these trainers are going back to their communities, their respective communities, and training the farmers. And it's going to be a journey, it's not a one-day event. So every month they will be training their farmer group. Every trainer is given about 30 to 40 farmers who they have to train on their farm. And we also have demo plots where the farmers can come to and see the good practices happening in the cooperatives on their demo plots. And we will also give them new varieties. So for that reason, we have created clonal gardens where we will develop these new varieties, which the farmers will then take back to their farms and plant, which are more, have better resistance in terms of the diseases and the pesticides. The first biggest challenge was actually getting farmers to agree. That was the first biggest challenge. Getting farmers to see the value in converting to organic certification. Because most humans, I think, are wired for short-term returns, and it's very difficult to relate with long-term returns. And the first immediate question would be, how much will I get next season? But next season, potentially your crop will not be organic certified. So it was just getting the farmers to start thinking of organic farming and convert to the belief that organic farming will make them survive in the long term. The second challenge in this is agronomic challenge in terms of how do I deal with pests, how do I deal with diseases, which my coffee is susceptible to. And we have very fantastic partners in that, in regards to that. We have the Coffee Research Institute, who we are working with, and we have the World Coffee Research, who are researching on resistant varieties, who are researching on agronomic practices that will control these diseases, who are researching on biological controls. Now, early next year, we will have all the coffee farmers from the Trace Kenya project, well, representatives of the coffee farmers from the Trace Kenya project visit our facility here so that they can see when their coffee is picked, has been wet milled, has been dry milled, has been graded, and it is clean when it comes here or when it goes to any other roaster. What are these value-adding opportunities, activities they keep hearing about, which make the coffee expensive? Then we start opening their eyes and they start getting all this information firsthand, and they start identifying opportunities where they can innovate, create, change processes, activities. And we change how coffee business is done.